Welcome to the season premiere of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network, presented by Bud Light Platinum. Live and in color from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, is the kickoff of Week 2 of the 2020 National Football League season, as the Cincinnati Bengals are in town to play the Cleveland Browns, both teams 0-1 coming in. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tamir Moore, and welcome to the first broadcast of the 2020 schedule of Thursday Night Football, and welcome to Cleveland, and happy 100th anniversary to the NFL. Today is the NFL's 100th birthday. Last week, the Bengals had a 16-13 home loss against the visiting Los Angeles Chargers, and Cleveland last week had a real terrible loss on Sunday, a 38-6 shellacking in a road loss at the Ravens. Bengals rookie quarterback Joe Burrow completed 23 of 36 passes for 193 yards and rushed for 46 yards and a touchdown in his NFL debut. Bengals running back Joe Mixon rushed for 69 yards last week. Cincinnati wide receiver A.J. Green led team with 5 catches for 51 yards last week. Had TD catch in 3 of his past 4 against Cleveland. Wide receiver Tyler Boyd had 4 catches last week, aimed for his 4th straight game against the Browns with at least 5 catches. Defensive end Carlos Dunlap had 2.5 sacks, a 4th fumble, and a pass deflection the last time the two teams played, Week 17 of the 2019 season, in which Cincinnati hosted Cleveland and the Bengals wound up with a 10-point win, 33-23. Now, let's look at some Browns notes. Let's start with quarterback Baker Mayfield. At Baltimore on Sunday, Mayfield passed for 189 yards and a touchdown, and he also threw an interception last week. In 4 career games against the Bengals, he has 11 touchdowns, 10 passing, 1 rushing, and 5 interceptions for a quarterback rating of 100.5. His 11 touchdowns against Cincinnati are the most that Mayfield has had against any opponent. Browns running back Nick Chubb ran for 60 yards last week. On Sunday, running back Kareem Hunt of the Browns led the team with 72 rushing yards. Wide receiver Jarvis Landry led the Browns with 5 catches for 61 yards last week at Baltimore. Wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. had a touchdown catch the last time that these two teams played. And tight end Austin Hooper had a receiving touchdown in 2 of his last 3 games against the AFC North. And Brown defensive end Myles Garrett had a tackle for loss and a fumble recovery last week at Baltimore. Huge matchup for both of these two teams. You think about Cleveland and Cincinnati. These two teams over the last several decades have been so terribly bad, especially Cleveland. Let's talk about Cincinnati, though. After a period in which Cincinnati was quite successful right through the early and mid-2000s, over the last 4 years, Cincinnati has missed the playoffs. The last postseason appearance for them was back in 2015. Remember, last year, the Bengals only won 2 games. Meanwhile, the Browns are the current longest active non-postseason streak in the NFL. 17 is their number right now. Last time they made a playoff was back in 2002. Last year, Cleveland won 6 games. That's a slight drop back from their 7-8-1 record they had in 2018. This should be a great matchup. Please join us for Bengals and Browns tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern only on NFL Network.